Yo, doesn't the weekends usually have low volume? Uh, doesn't the weekends usually have low volume? Yeah. I hate this fucking internet. I hate it. Let's just say I'm on my mobile hotspot. I don't have 5G right now. It's just I done used up so much freaking internet speed data that it slowed down, that's all. It took my shit that long to load? Oh no, you're good. I was just talking to my computer. What up? This internet is acting up because you're roboting for me, so hold on. Oh, I hear you now. Yeah. See, told you my shit's acting up.
But you don't think that we're actually helping them out? You really don't think that we're actually helping them out? Because a lot of the Afghanistan's they're pleading for America. Hold on a second. Let me speak. Let me speak. Okay, let me speak. There's a lot of them, crying out for help from Americans. So how do you figure that? Go ahead.
We did keep Sharia law kind of at bay. It's like if American soldiers were in the town, they wouldn't let someone a rape game run down the street and rape women like is common in that culture. It's like so like in that essence, yeah, like we kind of did a moral job, but is America the police's the world's moral police? I don't think we are. And I don't think our tax money
Well,
and our
no, I'm sorry. I disagree with you because that's exactly what we
if
are.
they bring it here, that's different. But I don't think we should be going. It's like at this point, should we go to China and stop them from what they're doing on the Uyghurs? It's like, should we risk nuclear holocaust? At this point, where do we draw this line?
Well, the United States is so weak, we'll never do any of that because they can't even get a hold of the Chinese for what they've done with the whole coronavirus. They're still not being held accountable, which is the thing that I've been saying forever. Hold these motherfuckers accountable. Why are they not being held accountable?
Because they own us. All our politicians are either like bribed or bought. All right, they've either been to Epstein Island and got some dirt on them or something like that, or they're bought out.
Here's the truth of the matter. I got the truth. Shocker.
Yeah,
Let me get into this conversation. You guys have been nonstop back and forth. Look, man. China, you're not gonna like it. They own your ass. They own my ass. They own the asses that we're gonna give birth to someday. They own the asses that they're gonna give birth to someday.
I'm in Stockton, California.
China owns
they own Stockton.
you.
Stockton went into debt, and China is the one who bailed them out. So China
like our whole country.
owns Stockton, California.
Everything you buy, you give your money to China. Your clothes are made and your shoes are made in China, dude. The food you fucking eat half the fucking time is made in China, and you don't even fucking know it.
That's why Trump putting these bans or restrictions on them or making them pay us for once was a good thing, but that was racist.
I see it as a good thing, but I also see it as an act of war because historically, historically, trade embargoes and stuff like that. When you stop trade, that is
fucking Star Wars happened because of that. Come on.
In fact, other nations have seen that as an act of war, and that has led to war before.
Well, really, did it lead to war when Trump enacted all that shit? No, it did not.
Thank God, Xi Jinping didn't declare war on us for that. But they
they were scared as hell, dude. They didn't want to fuck with us. Yeah, right.
let's be real here. Trump hit them with all that. They didn't like it, and they didn't go to war technically, but they did send us a nice little virus, didn't they?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they did send the virus.
boom.
Yeah.
And they made us.
And
pay
that's
for
one
it,
thing that
too.
I've been asking it. You know what? You know what? I know a lot of people talk shit about what I got to say, but guess what?
Well, you say it, baby.
Where and when has the U.S. been held accountable for what the fuck is going on right now?
Who is gonna put the U.S. accountable for anything?
No one, because they don't want to get slapped.
No, who
Yeah,
can?
because they're being a bunch of little bitches.
Greta
That's
Thunberg
why.
tried. How did that go?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Dude,
who
I'm
the
just
fuck-
saying, dude.
Who
No
has
one's
the power to do that? Is all I'm saying.
Well,
No one.
to be honest,
Americans
she
have.
came to talk about our pollution when we are leading the world in reducing pollution. It's like there's a curve of developing nations. While you're developing, people don't give a fuck about their pollution. It's once they are developed, they're like, oh wow, look at all the shit we fucked up. Then they have time to think about it and figure out how to fix it. And that's where we're at.
I agree.
Stuff. So it's like China's not at the point where they're in India, not at the point where they're caring about their pollution because they're still just trying to eat every day.
Well, unfortunately, China is still developing, quote unquote. So you're correct.
Yeah, once they hit that point where they're developed, if their government and structure allows their people to be fat and happy, they'll sit there and look around and be like, oh shit, we've kind of destroyed our environment. Let's fix it. But until then, they're just scraping by for their next plate, their next check and stuff. Kind of what our government's wanting us to be like.
Correct. Shut up, sit down, be happy, and take your bowl of rice. That's what we're going for, but that's what we want here. We want communism.
It's a bowl of bugs. You're gonna live in a pod. Your VR is gonna be literally, dude. Me and my friend figured it out. You're gonna live in a pod eating bugs, and you're gonna put your virtual reality helmet on. That's gonna control a robot body that's gonna go into the world and do your work for you. You'll be in your pod painting a wall while the robot's actually slinging paint at someone's house.
Well, that's nice of you. I didn't even think they'd give us a robot body, to be truthful.
Isn't that like the Matrix or some shit? Like...
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's their goal. That's why this whole VR thing. Look at the NFTs now. They're putting NFT digital tokens of Gucci sweaters and this, that, and the third.
That's fair.
And they're pushing the small houses, dude, in Berkeley, Oakland, and all that. They're like, they don't want people living like one house and sharing housing and stuff. They want tiny homes packed in pods.
Yes,
what happens is it's the permit. That's how they get you. I need a permit for building a house out here. If it's under 10 by 10, I don't need a permit. The permit will never be possible for me to get. So if I build under 10 by 10 or 10 by 10 and under, I'm fine though. So
what if you got like 10 by 10 next to a 10 by 10 next to a 10 by 10 and there's like
see now you're thinking.
Kind of like, you know how buses connect with that rubber piece in the middle and you just figure out something to connect them and have a sliding door between them?
Yep.
There you go.
Super easy, technically.
Open up the doors and you can have like a bigger area. You know, kind of like an atrium area, but it's like your 3 units connected.
See, but that's the thing. It led to a lot of creative buildings around here,
and you can even have them on wheels. In fact, man, that's one way the tiny house in Oakland was combating the law is mounting them on legally registered trailers and then moving them every 72 hours.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. We had to do something like that here too.
Jesus.
Just push it around the corner or something. Just move it every 72 hours.
Very gypsy-like, you know.
As long as it was moved, X amount of distance, you were fine. It was like a reset.
Yeah, and I know California every 72 hours has to move 1 mile.
Oh damn!
But with new vehicles, how are they going to track the odometer? They really can't.
So
they just chalk it. And I'm in the 9th circuit, but in the 6th circuit, which I think one of you might be, it's Midwestish. The 6th circuit declared that chalking, Michigan, I think is 6th circuit. They declared that you cannot chalk tires. It's unconstitutional. The police cannot put chalk mark on your tires in the 6th circuit.
That's how it should be. Good.
They see that as a seizure, as basically seizing your vehicle or whatnot.
Yeah, 4th Amendment violated.
Yes,
That's
they see it
interesting.
as a
I never
violation
saw
of
it
the Fourth
that way,
Amendment.
but now that you
It-
guys
it-
talk about it,
I'm hoping the U.S. Supreme Court picks this up, but usually they only pick things up when they have two circuits conflicting. So if the Ninth Circuit here in California and Nevada, if we come to on a similar case but an opposite ruling, then the U.S. Supreme Court will say, okay, well the Ninth and Sixth Circuits are conflicting. Let's set this precedent, and that's how it goes that high.
sounds about right.
But yeah, it usually only goes to circuit courts and gets settled there. The Supreme Courts rarely rule on stuff, so when they do, it's huge.
Oh yeah, they'd rather let
makes
the states deal with it.
It's understandable.
Well, yeah,
It says a
they try to
precedent.
let the local courts deal with it, and then the state, and then the
Yeah.
circuit court, and then like I said,
Which I agree with.
if two circuits are conflicting, that's usually when the Supreme Court grabs it.
In my opinion, that is exactly how it should be.
In a republic.
Yeah, I like that because it lets liberal areas be liberal, lets Republican areas be Republican, and kind of vote for their own laws in their own local areas. Like I hate national enforcement of legislation; it's bullshit and shouldn't happen.
That's where we agree. I might be in Canada, but decentralization of power is my biggest thing because right now it's been given to too few people on too much land. They cannot cover the culture and the needs of precise environments. They just can't. These people are politicians. They're not living on that big piece of a land. Canada's huge, and we're only divided in like 7 territories, right? So
Well, be careful if you guys don't use my pronouns correctly. You're going to be fined and go to jail. So
no, I'm just gonna be fined, and if I don't pay the fine, then eventually I might go to jail. Yeah,
see, you're catching on. That's right.
I can contest it.
Of course, but if they want to put you in the booty house, they're going to put you there.
Now, see, if you ever lived in Canada, you would know. You'd never have to pay for a fine, like almost ever. You just contest it, because by
Well, I'm going to
contesting
Canada.
it, the process of contesting your ticket means that the officer needs to show up on a date in court.
Yeah.
And they rarely do, especially if they're working on that day.
Oh yeah.
So,
I've had that happen actually twice with speeding tickets, and the cop specifically said, "I'm going to give you a lesser charge with a lesser amount of fine, or a lesser monetary value of a fine, but do not drag my ass into court. Check that you are guilty and accept it. I do not want to go to court. I do not want to see you there. If I do, I'm going to hammer you." And every single time I talk to another person, I'll say as an advisor, they all said, "Are you kidding me? You better fight it. That means they don't want to go." Because they usually, like you just said, are working. Now they have to take off, which they're not going to do. And if you go and they can't go to testify again, you win. And I've actually done that with 2 separate tickets, both speeding, and I've won both times. No points, no nothing.
I never had to
I
pay for
agree.
a single ticket in my entire life. I
That is
contest them
awesome.
constantly, and that's because they don't expect you to do that. So I let them. Whenever they give me a ticket, I'm compliant. I'm like, sure, officer, absolutely. Here's my information, everything. This is
That's
my name,
smart.
absolutely. I give them everything. I make myself as forgettable as possible, you know. And then, like 2 months later, he gets a note saying like this ticket was contested, and you need to go to court. And he's like, I can't even remember who that guy was. Clearly, he
Right?
didn't piss me off. So whatever, you know. That's it.
Good point. Good point. I agree.
But I'm in Canada as well, so it might have something to do with it.
Yeah. Siri, how much is a plane ticket to Canada?
Depends where you want to live. Like, how are you with the weather?
It depends. So, what type of seasons we talking about? 4 season, 2 season? What are we doing here?
Well, I live in 2 seasons right now, but usually it's 4
What?
seasons.
So 2 seasons meaning what 2? How would you describe these 2?
Sunny and 23 degrees, which I don't know how it translates to your areas because, you know,
That's
Canada.
not bad.
Every
1.8.
day. So it's 23 and sunny every day, or it's 12 degrees and it's raining all the time. Yeah.
I could deal with that.
I've been doing it for 7 years. It's the only place in Canada that allows it. It's part of the Gulf Islands. You're in the middle of a very precise Gulf Stream. Like there's the Georgia Strait that goes across. It brings warm air coming from the south, but it also prevents the cold air to hit you at the same time. So we live within a very confined space of Earth where everything is awesome almost every day. not bragging or anything. If you guys want to look it up, it's called Salt Spring Island. It's in.
Oh, trust me, I already got it looked up, baby.
Yeah, it's one of the most beautiful places I ever got to travel at, and I was surprised that it was in Canada, because I've traveled the world. I've seen a lot of beautiful places, a lot of places I was curious maybe living there, but when I found this, even living in a trailer here is beautiful, because the moment I exit this tiny little area, I'm in paradise at any moment. I work there. I feed myself off of the land. I get to fish out here. Like, life is sweet. I feel like I'm early retired, so, I don't want to brag too much. I'm just like, this is what I was looking for, so I'm really happy.
And it's easy to convert your temperature. Whatever it is Celsius, you do times 9/5 plus 32. And I believe 9/5 would be 1.8, right? Because of improper fraction, if you have 9/5, 5 goes into 9 once, and then 4 is remainder, and 4/5 is 80 or 0.8.
It's 73.4 Fahrenheit here every day during the summer.
What? Every day? I can deal with that. Sign me up.
There's no mosquitoes. There's no moose. There's no bears. There's no wolves. It's islands. They don't live here. We got cougar alert once in a while, but they usually hang out at the bar.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as long as they're feeding me drinks, I'm so down with that. Oh my gosh. All I need to see is how they fare on me owning like high powerful weapons. And as long as I can get like one somehow, or actually, I wonder if I could just build it like we're able to do here. I have to look into your laws of the ways of Canada. I'm very intrigued.
Like we have very specific laws that no one usually require until they do. So it's very open spaces, and you can negotiate with the people that are around you often if you just go directly to the source. You go directly to the police station and talk to them and ask all the questions right there, and they will give you everything you need to know about that.
That's cool. See, that's what I had to do here because I was arguing with people that I can target shoot on my property. And everybody said, dude, you are insane. You think you can just go and shoot guns on your property? Like, this isn't Texas. This isn't wherever. I'm like, well, you have to check your local ordinance.
I mean, is it a back lawn or something? Or, like, do you have, like, acres and shit?
Well, that's the thing. So that's what most people had always asked me. And no, I sit on exactly 1 acre of land, and 1/4 of it is the house, and 3/4 is actually open. And I didn't, and I'm directly like next to a major highway pretty much. And everything from what I've learned, like at the beginning, I thought, okay, this is never going to happen. There's no way I'm going to ever be able to do this. And I had asked around. I couldn't find. I found my PA state legislation, whatever the word is, I can never say. And they basically said that I have the right to target shoot as long as it's not hunting, and I'm either the property owner or I am a friend of the property owner and or a committed guest of the owner of the property. They do not have to be there, but I have to have their permission. Then I had looked into it, and I found the only thing that will trump that is my local county's ordinances. So I went to my local county. I figured out their ordinances. In Philadelphia, no, you cannot. It is impossible. But where my parents live in Bucks County, which is completely different, I went, asked around. People didn't even know what I was talking about. They all said, no, you can't target shoot here. What are you, nuts? Oh, my God. What are you, nuts? What are you, nuts? And I went to the courts, and I actually had talked to a judge, and they didn't want to speak to me. I don't know why. I don't know if they were just busy, but I had to put in a written referral. Or a written, I don't know what it was. It wasn't a referral, like a request to speak to them. They didn't answer. I did that twice, once per month. And the second month, they finally had written me back, and they said that they could speak for 45 minutes on X day. I'm pretty sure I saved a piece of paper because I thought it was like so awesome. And he said the only thing that I would be in violation of is a noise ordinance. Besides that, there's no ordinance in my local land where I live in the county that would stop me from doing it. The only thing I have to adhere to is the same thing that the whole state does. I have to have a backer, and I have to have a mound that I shoot into. The mound has to be 5.5 feet tall. It has to be 3.5 feet wide. It has
there you go. So there is a regulation for it.
Yes,
that's perfect.
Correct.
There you go. There you go.
So it's interesting. Like you said, you really just have to go to either the local police station or this person or that. So when you said that, I was like, oh, dude, he is. I see 1,000,000% what he means. So yeah, I'm gonna I'm interested in other
The
countries'
issues
laws.
here, the issues here are not usually about owning a gun. It's about the intent. Like, of course, if you're gonna go murder someone, they can allow it. But no, we're talking like hunting rights. Around here, the natives have hunting rights, and it's kind of stripped away from anybody else because of history. And I'm okay with that because I don't own rifles or anything. But I think that that will be the biggest legal issue at owning weapons out here. If you don't own them to hunt, well, then it's for practicing, right? Like shooting, as such.
Good
But
point.
we don't have such, there might be some around, but we don't have them on the island per se. And I do believe that one of the rules out here, one of the laws, very precise, is that you can own. But if you're taking it outside of your property to another site, you need to contact every police station on the way and let them know. Because if you get stopped and they don't have word on that, you're gonna get it taken away from you, and then it's lost in fucking administration limbo for God knows how long.
Yeah, man. Good luck with that, right? Good point. But I also understand that if you're traveling through different counties or whatever it may be considered or provinces, whatever, well, yeah, they want to know you're traveling with a fucking deadly firearm. I mean, so if everything difference or if there's a difference in each place that you carry or travel, and you're going outside of where you normally are, you're leaving your quote unquote property line. Well, I see where they believe that they're in the right to be notified of that. So I don't necessarily disagree with that at all, really. There's many people here that may want to kill me and say, "You commie son of a bitch, go get your gun." I don't see a problem with that, really.
No, but see, we don't have any of that out here. People are not getting gunned down. It doesn't happen. What we have
That's what I like.
what we have is poachers. So it's always
Nope, I
about
don't- yeah.
native right to hunt first on the land type thing, and that's what they're actually trying to stop. Which comes back to my first point. I think that's going to be the biggest legal issue, because if you decide to move on anywhere that has a reserve or that has like hunting ground next to it, there might be legal ramification that might prevent you from owning certain types of guns, because it would give you an
Good
unfair
point.
advantage over the locals type thing. I've been talking with locals, but that's the thing. You become friends with them, they're like, "Come hunting with us," then So
True.
it all depends on who you become friends with around here. It really is.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, imagine if you're out there, you're hunting with, first of all, something that's not even shooting a projectile, or I shouldn't say a projectile, but something that's not firing a projectile due to gunpowder. Or even if you are, and let's say you have a pistol, okay, I can do some damage with a pistol, don't get me wrong, but you know how much more damage I could do with a fucking AR-15? I mean, come on, imagine if you're using that for hunting compared to a smaller device or something that's not a firearm like that. I mean, that's a big jump in a comparison difference. I mean,
Keep
geez,
in mind, okay,
geez.
I'm just a vanilla Canadian boy, okay? I don't shoot weapons. I shoot a bow and arrow, right?
That's the way to do it.
I don't drive a car. I have an electric bike.
That's
Like,
how you do
I
it.
don't get into kerfuffle with people. I do de-escalation, and I bring the shit down. That's how we do shit out here, I guess.
Well, I would fit in quite nicely because besides, I guess, having a gun, even though I don't shoot it at anything, and besides, I technically do have a car. So those things, I guess, I'm wrong on. But I could easily go without the car. I could easily take some other mode of transportation, especially if I was on an island. And the whole de-escalation, oh, that's spot on. All day, every
By the
day.
way, on South Spring Island, on this island, electric charge for electric vehicles are free.
What? Okay, yeah. So why would you not want that?
That's the idea. I didn't know that at first.
Well,
When I was living on the other coast, I heard about a political party that was all about the green and how we could
very
get to
fun.
be self-sufficient and all that stuff. I was really into it. Then I moved to this island, remembering that story, and I realized that the party was born here. And we've been the greenest part of the country in a long time because we give free electricity to anyone who has an electric vehicle. You pay for an electric vehicle out here, and you never have to pay for charging it ever again.
That's so smart. I mean,
But is it free? Is it
well,
really?
is anything free? No.
Well, I mean, you have access to it, so yes, and you don't have to pay for the access to it. So
Yeah, I was
in
gonna
that
say,
sense,
So
These
because
stuff.
you have access to something makes it free?
Well, he's not paying for it, so technically.
Oh yeah, exactly. I'm not paying for it, other than the taxes I'm already paying. So whether I have
Yes,
a vehicle that I'm
sir, you are paying for it.
yeah, I
Your
guess to
tax
an extent.
dollars
But
are
see, what happens is
your-
that I'm already paying
your
for it
tax
now, but I don't have an
dollars are
electric
going
vehicle
towards
because
that.
Exactly.
my taxes are not going to be more expensive because I have an electric vehicle. I'm paying the same taxes now.
Yes, they
So,
are.
So
Yes,
why
they
not?
are.
So,
How you
so
can?
everyone is
Yes,
paying
they
for it.
are.
And
Your
hear
taxes.
me out. Don't get angry. Just hear me out. The thing is, we all want electric vehicles here. We all want to pay for this. It's not a bad thing. It's a
But
good
that's
thing.
smart.
We agreed to this.
That's smart. And if you still are paying, if you're paying $10 a month, let's say, and you don't have an electric vehicle, and then you get an electric vehicle, and you're still only paying $10 a month. I mean, fuck it.
Package coming in.
Nothing changed for
Yeah,
me.
that's how I look at it. I mean,
Other
yeah,
than having a vehicle that I don't have to pay for its resources anymore.
Yeah, there you go.
Only the insurances.
I see where Shocker's coming from, saying yes, you are paying for it, and yes, technically you are, but that's written into your tax
Same.
code. That's already been there, so why not take advantage of it, really? So I see where you're both coming from, but I agree. If it's already there, it would
It's
be
a
like
small
them saying,
island.
Yes,
If we're
it's
bringing
not
more vehicles on here, we want them to be the less pollutant as possible.
Yes.
But we can't make it happen all the time because we need hard work to happen. We need excavation. We need big ass trucks, and that technology doesn't extend there yet. So we're just trying to slowly incentivize people into doing it because then they won't have to pay for a charge. Isn't that a great idea? I think it's been working. I see a lot of Teslas here.
I think it is. Shocker, we can't hear you, but I can see your lips moving.
I'm sorry. I'm saying.
We lost you again, buddy. Your push to talk is giving you issue.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. We can't hear you.
Half the squads have cocked it, fellas. On ya.
I see that adorable little face moving, but
Yeah. So I don't want to say I have the answer to every problem because I don't.
that's
And I'm
all
not
right.
a smart, and you know what? I'm not a smart person, but I can see bullshit.
You're smart.
Okay. And I see bullshit going on right now. When anyone wants to claim anything is
Free.
well, not free, but ecological. That's the biggest bullshit I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, nothing really is. Nothing. Like, seriously, nothing is ecological ever.
So we are all doomed to fail, and life is miserable. Well, thank you for having this conversation
Well,
with us.
let's drink up.
That's okay. So that's what I'm gonna say right there. Yeah,
Cheers.
that's the truth, and that's the honest to God truth.
Well, I see where you're going with this. but
Only
that
people that lie
it's
have
not
to point
something
out
I
when they're
believe.
telling the truth.
I've heard you say that often.
I don't lie,
just
sir.
I just
I
don't
don't lie.
believe that. I just don't believe that.
Well, that's okay. That's for you to object to.
I
That's
no,
okay.
I think it's just because we live in different countries. We have different cultures.
Of course.
Therefore, we have different perspective of the outcome. That's all it
Exactly.
is.
You both view things from different parts of where you stand. So of course you're going to see something differently, whether you agree on this or that or you don't. He literally lives in a different world every single day. So what works for him there may seem asinine for him or you there or him there or she there, and that makes sense.
Right?
That's why
Canada, too, like we're like one of the most peaceful country that everybody knows. Like everybody cares for us. Everyone is like, no, Canada's cool, and like we're like, yeah, but like because everything is cool, right? If we see everyone going at war and shit, we're like.
Replicator on its way.
So clearly we don't have the same background. Like to me, it's like I study war because I study, and I'm trying to see when or how it's going to happen and if it's going to affect me and my environment, my culture, and the people that I care for. That's why it scares me. I have family in Norway. I went to museums of war. I went to whole concentration camps. That shit will always leave me cold in my spine. I am not okay with that. I do not support it. Life is precious. No, I did not. That's not in France.
Wait
Yeah,
for-
the door lock is on the inside and the door swings inward.
I like that.
I remember they had a banner that said, "Work will set you free." I never forgot that.
Well, of course, work, work, work.
Yeah, but don't you see that happening today? People who voluntarily do
I've
it.
seen testimony of people in Auschwitz that said they were treated well and that they were used as labor and not murdered.
Well, of
Exactly.
course. Why would you murder a workforce that could go and do everything?
Because you didn't trust them.
That's the problem.
And
Yeah.
like all the evidence I see is there's piles of hair, piles of shoes, and piles of clothes because people were fleeing Stalin, bringing typhus into Germany. And I seen testimony of a woman saying that was us on those cars, those box cars that were going to those camps because we were fleeing from Stalin and we were skinny because we were starving because of communism.
Honestly,
So there's nuance to that story. I do believe Hitler was a horrible man at the end, did horrible things, medical atrocities that are unforgivable, and enslaving an entire group of people based on any attribute they can't control is fucked up.
So
But yeah,
IBM,
I don't believe he was genocidal trying to kill them all. It was more
So-
like he deemed them as an economic threat while he was at war, kind of like we did with Japan.
so the company IBM created like computers and punch machines back in the day, and it kind of
Wait,
had
what do
computers
you-
terminals in
what do you
every one
mean
of the
the same way
concentration
that?
camps.
Yeah. What's up, motherfuckers? Fuck.
Yeah,
What do you mean the same way that we did in Japan?
Yeah. What's
Can
up,
you clarify that,
shocker?
please? Yo, what's up, bro? What's up,
how you
bro?
doing, Adam?
What's up, bro?
We put Japanese people in
Yeah,
camps
everybody can
just
eat some
because
dick.
they were Japanese. We took an entire race
Welcome
of
to the
people
bar, then.
and put them in jail. That's what I mean.
Expect ass. What's up, expect ass?
What's up, brother?
What's up, shocker?
Oh, it's like a reunion and like on
Yeah.
Cheers.
Who wants to suck some dick right now?
Oh.
Shocker does.
Hey, fuck off, man. No, I don't.
Yeah.
There's
Fuck
nothing wrong
you,
with sucking
Lord.
dick, bro. Come on, don't shame me. You're okay sucking missiles.
Yeah.